She wore red to my mother's funeral. Not the muted kind, no, crimson silk, cut to the bone. She clung to my father's arm like a trophy, lips painted to match the dress. When the priest spoke of devotion, she smirked, eyes locked on me. She was cold, she whispered when I passed. Now I'm the one who warms his bed and his heart. My fingers tightened around the envelope hidden in my bag, the inheritance papers my mother signed 3 days before she died. The truth lay inside, sharp, loaded, ready. But before I pulled the trigger, they needed to hear one name. My father used to call my mother his compass, said she gave his chaos direction. I believed him until the nights stretched longer and he began working late, until her perfume lingered on his shirts less and another scent replaced it, expensive, heavy, desperate. Her name was Clara. She'd been his secretary for 7 years. Always polite, always just a little too present. My mother trusted her, called her a friend. I should have noticed earlier. The extra cup of coffee on his desk, the lipstick smudge on a receipt. But betrayal hides best in routine. It was the hospice nurse who told me. She thought I knew. "Your father and the redhead came by last night," she said. She kissed him before she left. So, sweet of him to have support. Sweet. That word burned longer than grief. I didn't confront him. I smiled through my mother's last days, holding her hand, watching her fade under the weight of 2 cancers, one in her blood, the other in her marriage. She knew. God, she knew. But she never said his name. Only mine. "Promise me," she whispered, "you won't let him bury me twice." I promised. After she died, I cleaned her study. Hidden beneath her will, I found a folder labeled "For When It's Time." Inside, bank statements, property deeds, and one photograph. My father and Clara at a lake house I'd never seen. My mother had been dying quietly, but she'd been watching loudly. Every transaction, every secret account, every lie he tried to bury, she collected it all. That's when my grief turned to focus, and focus became a weapon. First, I visited the lawyer. My mother's will left everything to me, conditional upon discretion. But the true gem was the second document, a trust my father didn't know existed, one that controlled every business asset under her name, half of his empire to be exact. She'd planned her exit like a chess match. All I had to do was move the last pieces. I transferred her shares quietly, reallocated accounts, froze the joint holdings he relied on for liquidity. I wanted him cornered, not destroyed, yet. Then I leaked just enough to his board to make them suspicious. A whisper here, a document there. Clara's name appeared beside his in transactions that shouldn't have existed. It didn't take long for the board to connect infidelity with impropriety. And still, I waited. The funeral was perfect, public. I needed witnesses. When it ended, I approached him, father, the widower with crocodile tears. Clara stood too close, fingers grazing his cufflinks. "You'll come by for the reading of the will?" I asked sweetly. He nodded, eyes wary. "Of course." Clara smiled, sharp as glass. "We'll be there." The room was small, the air too still. My mother's lawyer opened the folder, reading her final words aloud. My father shifted when he heard the phrasing, "conditional inheritance, dependent upon moral integrity." Then came the pause, the line my mother had insisted be read in full. "If any extramarital misconduct is proven prior to my passing, the guilty party forfeits all marital assets to be transferred to my daughter." My father laughed, the kind of brittle sound men make when cornered. She was delirious. I opened my bag and placed a single photograph on the table, the lake house picture. Then the financial records. Then the messages. The color drained from his face. Clara's hand slipped from his arm. You said she didn't know, he turned on her. You told me you deleted everything. The lawyer cleared his throat. This evidence is admissible and binding. Silence. Thick. Final. He lost everything in a week. The house, the company, the respect he'd built on my mother's name. And Clara? She left him when the money ran dry. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. Watching him sign the final surrender papers was enough. His pen shook the way my mother's hands had when she wrote her last will. That night I drove to the lake house. It was empty now, just water, wind, and echoes. I stood where they'd stood in the photo. The air was colder than I expected. I whispered her name, the only one that mattered. Rest now, Mom. Then I burned the photograph. Watched it curl, ash kissing the water. Some people say revenge never fills the hole left by grief. They're wrong. It doesn't fill it. It seals it shut.